Hey guys, welcome to my channel, The Wandering Wellspring. This is the tarot for Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, Moon, Mercury, Mars, or Venus for the month of March. Now, before I do this, I'm going to let you know I do this different than some others you may have seen. I usually go ahead before these videos and meditate on the energy of your sign, and then I'll get visions. And then in this video, I'm going to be telling you the vision I got, as well as interpreting a little bit in regards to your sign and what you might be encountering or just needing to focus on a little bit in the month of March. Then from there, I'll pull oracle cards and tarot cards as guided. This is a general reading for the collective, so it may or may not resonate or fit your situation. But yeah, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to hear, what you liked, what spoke to you, and yeah, especially during this time, you know, human contact is huge. So commenting is a really great way to help the YouTube algorithm, along with, of course, liking and subscribing. If you see decks you like, I will be listing the decks in the description. I try to say it in the videos, but I'll list them in the description, if not at least. So,
Hi,
yeah, Sagittarius, this is your reading for the month of March 2021. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know a vision that I had during my meditation time. And then I'll go through with the reading after that with the cards and everything. I believe usually first I do an oracle, pulling cards first, an oracle deck, and then I go into the tarot. But it also depends what I feel guided to at the time. Let's see. So as far as the vision I had for you, it was like braided. And I don't know if it was the act of braiding. It could have been the act of braiding. Yeah, it was the act of braiding. Straw, but it was almost kind of like, because I thought brooms are usually made out of straw or wicker, or no, it's not wicker because I'm looking at something that's wicker. But yeah, so braided wick or straw, twine, I'm not sure what that's called. And it was almost like it's hair braided. And then it reminded me of like, I don't know if you know, like if you remember the Raggedy Ann dolls and stuff like that, and like how they have the yarn and braided hair, and how sometimes dolls have their yarn hair braided, so it's like you can see each string, or not string, but strand. It was like that. But then I asked what the yarn was, or not yarn, but what the strands were, like what that symbolized. And I got almost like a river, but I didn't see like outside wilderness or anything. I didn't see myself in an outside setting per se. It was almost like more so like I was in a cave or something. Not dark, creepy cave, just toned down, mellow lights like that. Or not lights, but mellow, low lighting. And there was this, it was a stream, but the focus of the stream was, I was like seeing all the things moving in it. And, you know, going down in the stream, like moving forward, or, you know, going on their path or whatever in the water. And I believe there was some creatures in there, like, you know, fish and stuff like that. But honestly, I think there was like a rubber duck, and there was more like man-made things, like either man-made or even like maybe trash. But it wasn't a negative or positive thing. It was just humans' footprint. And I don't mean footprint like in an environmental sense, but humans' effect on it. So they were going through, like that stuff was going through in the water. And so that's what I was being shown was basically the strands and the braid and all that, like that's what that was. So, you know, it's the idea of braiding it together. And so we'll see as we do the reading more, what everything is actually fully about. Maybe there'll be more clarifiers. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I forgot that this is even being shown. So I'm just looking at this. I'm going to go ahead and pull I believe I'll pull some cards. Let's see. I don't know. I'll see when I'm shuffling if I want to pull cards this time, or there's always one stuck inside. Or if I want to go ahead and overhand shuffle. Yeah, so universe, spirit universe, what messages do you have for Sagittarius? Messages for Sagittarius for the month of March. And yes, time is fluid. So if you watch this a month from now, if you watch this later in the month, it might still apply for you. Also, you don't have to have Sagittarius as your sun sign. You can have it as your moon, rising, Venus, Mars, or even in multiple planets affecting your chart. And sometimes this is also the energy of somebody you're really close to. So sometimes it's, energy is also it kind of gives imprints on us a lot of times. So this might be the energy of the person you're close to or something they're dealing with. Messages for my Sagittariuses. The month of March. What do my Sagittariuses need to know for the month of March? I think I'm going to go ahead and see what falls. So we're not going to just pull cards. We're just going to see what comes out. Messages for Sagittarius for the month of March. What do they need to know, see, understand? Especially in regards to the visions. Wow, okay. Just gonna go with that. Because so much extra did come out, like these came out later, I'm gonna put those as I feel guided is still part of it, but still going. This is still here, but no, these are after. So there's still two cards that we'll see what those are whenever they come out. Let me get these on the frame too, or in frame, I should say. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. Excuse me. So this is the Spiral Dancer. And I mean, I could go into the books and stuff as well, but I really am not trying to just read books on in readings. I like to go more intuitively. It's so weird because from over here, it looks like this is like glare or something. But I'll just bring it up really quick so you can see. At least from where I'm sitting. Maybe it's not as glare looking from... Yeah. But yeah. So Spiral Dancer, and it's funny because, yeah, spiral is like, it goes like that. And circuitous root And I mean, I believe, honestly, I don't know what the word circuitous means, but I'm believing it has to do with the word circuit, which is, completing a circuit, completing a connection. So, yeah, a root that basically connects. I could have just pretended like I knew that and went with it, but I had to go ahead and be honest with my lack of vocabulary. But anyways, yeah, it's a root. It's like that. And idea that they're putting that with perception too, because the concept of perception, it's like a circuit is connected all the way through. So it's kind of like everything, like if you put, I mean, I know this isn't the way it works, like not electric circuit, but say like it was water instead of electricity. Water would be flowing all the way through. So everything would be irrigated, so to speak. And so for perception to be that, it's almost saying like the full perception, the full aspect. Like you can see the whole picture. You're looking at the whole picture, at least when you go into this mode. Like, I don't know if this is where you are right now or if this is what's coming in or what you're going towards. And it's funny because it's the spiral dancer. So it's like, it's a dance. And there is something in that makes me also think about the braid. Because a braid it's a pattern that can, well, it's not like this, but, pattern where it goes like that. And so it's a continuous where each part or each strand is continuously being used in a different way in a different part of it, if that makes sense. Like one time you're up here and then, or up here, and then as you go down, it's a different part you're putting in. I'm not the best at braiding, but And that's what happens. I mean, when you have this continuous perception to where you're open, to where everything is irrigated, to where you're not just irrigating and feeding fears or anything like that, but you're also feeding positive energies. And so it's a full picture, both the good and the bad. When you're doing that, I do feel like there's like a spirit communication. This is spirit communication paying attention. So it's like the cycle is there. It's connected. You're connected. So it's almost like you're connected. You're tapped into spirit, so to speak. But this is also very much like you're not just tapped into spirit here. You're tapped into spirit. And because you're tapped into spirit, it's making you manifest. Like manifest and dance. It's making you dance. It's like the energy is coming to you and you're just, vibrating, shaking with it, So it's like, it's interesting how these two cards, I really see a big connection with that. I feel like these two cards, like there's a connection here. I feel like for some of you, I'm trying to see, because where this goes and this goes, like this might be two parts what you're dealing with. You're dealing with this in yourself, and this is how this manifests. When you do this, this is what the manifestation is. And then the other one is going into, okay, well then now self-sabotaging, and this is poverty consciousness. So poverty consciousness it's like a spirit of poverty. It's like this, not spirit like, somebody else's spirit, but it's like this energy, this feeling and this belief that you take onto yourself when you do that, of things are never going to get better. Or I need to steal this. Not so much steal, like if you're not a thief, whatever, that's not what I'm saying. But I need to make this happen, not because I believe it's going to happen, but because I believe that the only way I can do it is if I force people's hands. That type of thing. So not saying that that's always what you go into, but that's one of the ways that manifests, is when you start trying to take things into your hands, not because you believe you're an active player and everything's going to go good, but rather because you've believed that you have to force people's hands or you have to make it happen. It's kind of like if someone is kind to you or does something, I'm trying to think. It's like when someone is there for you, but it's like they're there for you because you kind of forced them into it, like you, not manipulate, but you put them on the spot. So instead of letting them take the make the conscious decision to say, okay, I really want to help them, you've not even let them have that opportunity to go there, because before that could even happen, you've forced them. And I'm not saying this isn't you always, but when you go into that mentality, you start seeing those patterns in your life where there are people that are there for you, but they feel like they have no choice but to be there for you. And it's not because it quits being about them being joyfully giving to you, but rather because you've gone into this poverty consciousness of, well, everything has to be my way, or everything's always horrible and I have to make everything happen. Like, and it's in this, I don't know how to describe it, but basically when you have that energy and that mentality, it goes to a place where you start attracting more of that. You attract more people that are used to responding to that. So you start attracting more people that will help you, but they help you with either strings attached or with while being bitter towards you for it, because they haven't healed in those areas themselves. So that's what they respond to, because that's what they think is love, or that's what they think is caring. So you start venturing into that area. So it's, and I'm looking at this card too, because I don't want to miss anything in the card as I'm talking about that. It's funny, yeah, because there's light on her. There's light on her. She can see out of this. I mean, honestly, like, yes, she's in, cave, dungeon, jail, whatever, but she can really see outside for a place like that. And she can actually have that. And yet, instead of looking outside as her hope of what lies out there and how is she going to get out there, she's decided to give up on that ever being an option. And so she turns away, because if she looked at it, it would be too painful. It would be too painful to confront what she feels like she's lost. That's what it is. That poverty consciousness is a sense of being so sure you're lost that even when help comes in a good, loving way, not in the way I said earlier, but even when, no strings attached comes and all that comes to you, you look away. You're like, oh yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And that's what that is. And so when you go from here, and then either you've gone from here or this is another choice. I mean, I might be able to pull, I don't know. I'm going to see if I should pull clarifiers to see like if this is two decisions or what. But there is something I see in this. Like the first thing I saw when I saw these two cards here, I feel like they go together. And I feel like this says Sisters of the Seasons, Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, Divine Order. And I feel like some of you might be facing either aggression, and I feel like this is actually more negative because it says optimism / aggression, the fire print. So it's like fiery energy. Okay, so for some of you, this is on the negative side, okay? This card. And when you confront people, or not confront, but run into people in your life or observe people in your life in that mentality of this aggression and this anger and this stuck in so extreme, I don't know how to describe it, but so extreme, just always fighting, and you feel like there's hope, and you feel like there's maybe what keeps you there, you feel like it could go better, but them at their worst is horrible. What you do to keep staying there is you tell yourselves, this is a cycle of growth, this is the natural law, and this is divine order. Now, if you tell yourself, okay, everyone goes through different things and they're just in a mode and they just look different than me, or they look different than what I think is right, and that's okay. And if you don't allow them to walk all over you when they're doing this, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you tell yourself, this is a cycle of growth, this is divine order, this is natural law, because it always happens, because I always expect this darkness, and then you just say, this is all not all I'm worth, but this is my karma, then you stay in this place where even if that's your karma or not, you keep being that person. And so therefore you keep drawing people like that. And therefore you keep thinking it's your karma. I hope that makes sense. Now for another group of you, this might actually be optimism and aggression, and you're dealing with someone really fiery and this energy, and you might be dealing with a situation where they have so much energy and magnetism, and this is where you've come from. But when you come near them, and when you're not confronting, but when you're face to them, this is where you go, because of feelings of this, of, okay, well, they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to be that way. Basically, when I'm single, I can be amazingly, on fire. But as soon as I come into a relationship or I get into a partnership, I'm going to dim myself so they can still shine. And then this card, it says the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. I don't see a bottle, or not a bottle, a lamp, but this really looks like a genie in a bottle situation to me. But it's the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. And I think that's what when you're in this is what you bring towards you. And it's not genie. I mean, I'm saying I see a genie, but that's the lamp. Okay, that's interesting. It looks more like a gourd. Like, hold on. There you go. Let's see, there you go. It's more like a gourd, but whatever, that's the lamp. But, or at least what, in the culture, what's known. But that's funny, because when you think of material wealth and true prosperity, you don't think of a genie in a lamp. Like a genie in a lamp, there's the good side of, okay, he's going to grant my wishes. But then there's the bad side of, there's consequences, or it's limited, or ultimately what you think you want might not actually be what you want. I mean, there's so many sides to that. And, there's the spiritual aspects and religious aspects as well and all that. I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is, when you think of material wealth, or when I think of material wealth and true prosperity, I don't think of a genie. So I'm going to read this as, when you're in this place, sometimes one of the ways that you've kind of wavered when you're in this place, because you're awesomely shining and vibrating highly, but one of your temptations when you're there is to feel like when you get material wealth and true prosperity, there's strings attached. Maybe in the past there has been strings attached. I don't know, but this is saying that that's your view of material wealth and true prosperity, is a genie. And there's elements to the genie as well, other than what typical. There's also the concept of, it's funny because I think that's the dog's Anubis, or I don't remember, but, and there's all this clouds and murkiness. So it's like, can you trust this? Not saying even if it wasn't a genie, it's, can you trust this? Can you really see everything that's there? Like, is everything showing its face value? Is everything, can you judge everything face value, So a lot of times I feel like when you're in this mode and good comes from you, because it seems like with this, it's like you operate at a really high vibration when you're in this mode, and it's really great. But when things come to you outside of you, when you're in this mode, because of issues and wounds and limiting beliefs you've had that generally have kept taking you here, you take this differently. So it might just be material wealth and true prosperity. But in your mind, because you're seeing it as this situation, it goes towards this and it takes you out of this vibration. I'm trying to see if there's anything I'm missing or anything else in this. I see, you know, there's the, I think it's a hawk. Yeah, the bird's there. And then he's got the feather. And that's another thing too with this is, so he's got the birds, and it says spirit communication, paying attention, and it says the hawk prince. So he's human, but he has, I mean, I'm just going to read it as he has the feathers there. So he's with his tribe. Even if his tribe is like kind of almost on a different realm, he's able to access that because he has both the human body and he has that. So he's able to tap back and forth and go through and also reach more people with inspiring them when he's in that mode. And that, of course, increases spirit communication because, like I said, he's able to reach more people. It's funny, too, with this. It says, Sisters of the Season, Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, Divine Order. And she's up here. But and she's like over here hiding. Not hiding, but, you know, hidden, kind of. It just feels very kind of limited. Like, okay, this is what's expected and this is what's going to happen. And this could be a positive card in other readings, but I feel like in this situation, it's been a limiting belief that has kept you acting the way you have with this when you confront this. And then as far as with the vision, all this as well, the braid was done with the twine, straw, right, straw. And it could be, because remember I said, you know, what is the straw itself? And the straw itself is supposed to be the water flowing and taking things with it. And it's not just bad things. It's taking things away, but also transporting things. So it's moving things. It's causing movement. It's causing renewal. It's right at my feet. Like when I look down in that vision, it's right at my feet. It's not like this, oh, okay, over there, this stream that goes through. No, it's right at my feet. And it's taking all these little stuff. And it's kind of almost taking them above rocks, too. Like they're in little, like, I don't know, like rocks, whatever. And it's like going over that. The water's going over that. So it's taking all this stuff that might normally be stopped by the rocks. And that's one of the things is it's taking things that might normally be hindered or be stopped or be limited. So it's almost like this, like it's this energy. Especially this, remember this is, he's able to communicate both realms. So it's taking things that normally, it's pushing things along into other paths that are otherwise not, or not paths, but into areas that are otherwise not accessible without going that way. And it's pushing both good, bad, whatever, just humanness, humanity. It's pushing along. So it's almost like, I mean, honestly, it feels like it's like Akashic, like energy. And it's pushing everything along. And as it's doing that, though, yeah, so you flow in that. You flow in that. You braid it. You use it for different purposes. You know, you use that. And it's when you do this that it's a full like halt to where it's like you forget who you are and you forget what you're working with. You forget that you're literally connecting to the Akashic. You forget that you're connecting. And this might also be a spiritual thing. Like this might be for, I don't know if other readers or, what if you do readings or if, you're an empath or different psychic abilities. You might literally operate in this and have the communication energetically and, act as a medium. But when you do this and you go into this mentality of it's never going to get better and there's no point in looking at the light anyways because it's so far away. And then you go into this. And then when you come here, you're like, I can't do that. Like this could also be like a goal and it's just like you're looking at it and you're like, I can't do that because this is where I come to and then I'm stuck. I mean, like I said, I think there's like 3 different groups I'm talking to right now. 3, 4, I don't know. Okay. I want to do one thing though. Let's ask something. Just for clarification. Yeah. Just for clarification. Actually, no. Well, okay, I'm going to pull these cards out, but I do want to let you know, and not pull these cards out. These are the ones that were just sitting there that I do want you to know my intention at this point is to ask why or what you were breaking the straw for. These may or may not answer those because this is my intention now. I don't know what you believe. If it were me in my own reading, I would say, okay, well, everything happens for a reason and this was already known ahead of time. But I'm not going to limit you to my beliefs in that. So if it fits, it fits. Otherwise, I might pull more cards if this doesn't even address that. That might. I don't know. So let's just go like this. It's fun. You have the spiral dancer here. And then you have the sun dancers here. Oh, wow. So I don't know if you can see this. Just in case you can't, I want to show you. It says joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance. And this one says, it's the Ice Queen, ideas preserved, non-action, entitlement. I mean, so it's funny because with all the positive here, for some reason when I hear this, when I read this, and it says celebration of life, I literally imagine a wake, like a celebration of life, like somebody just died. So for some of you, this could be that. This could be symbolically celebrating a tower, basically like the tower card, symbolically celebrating that it's the end of a phase or that you fell with this phase, but you know what? That means you don't have to try in that anymore. Now you have something else. And sometimes when you have this mentality, that could be what you're doing, where it's like, okay, well, what if not, I mean, not in this scenario specifically, but what if making it and having everything going so good was putting a lot of pressure on you that you could, not work up to, but, what's the word? Live up to? But you yourself didn't exactly believe it, and you had a lot of hurdles of pushing through limiting beliefs. So when you go into that mentality of everything's been going good, and everything's been going this way, but you know what? I'm so glad it failed. Or I'm so glad this didn't work out and this is all done. So now I can just, go on my merry way, or I can do something else. So for some of you, there could be an element. Some of you, this is partially like this, and celebration of life with, celebration of life with the spirit community. Some of you, it's that. But for some of you, there's an element of celebrating that the challenge you were needing to work on didn't work, or seems like it's about to fail. So you're just going to take that failure because that means you won't have to do the work anymore. So for some of you, that might be a situation. And then this is the other thing. This is the Ice Queen. It says, ideas preserved, non-action, entitlement. And that's funny because when we ran into this guy in the situation where, for those of you that are dealing with dimming your light as soon as you're working with somebody that's on fire in a good way, or, just energetic in that way, don't you end up preserving your ideas? You end up saying, okay, I'll just file those away for another time, I guess. And you think you might be able to get them out again, but the more you have this mentality, they kind of never come out because you just start believing that that's not your path and that's actually this person's path instead. And that can even work when you're watching social media stuff, when you're like, looking at other people's social media stuff and you're, not cross-watching, but, kind of, Facebook stalking and things like that. When we look at how great someone else is doing, that, we could have been in that position, and we just say, yeah, no, I'm not there. I'm good, I guess. I guess I'm going to stay, hidden away. And so there is an element of ideas preserved. That's one way to look at it. Then there's ideas preserved where, you might sometimes be in this, and then when you run into, or not be in this, and when you run into this, when you run into the genie, you're like, wait a sec, everything's too good to be true. Let me just wait on this. Let me see. Let's see if something better comes along. But then you come into this, and then nothing better comes along because you don't believe it comes along anymore. Because even if it does, oh, it's okay. Let's just wait. Non-action. Let's just wait. Let's wait for something better. Or let me find out till I know all the information first. And then entitlement. It's like, I need to know before I can move. Before I can feel good, and this might not be just for everybody, but that in this situation could be, I need to feel safe in order to move. I need to feel safe in order to be able to work with this person. Not because of being in danger per se. I mean, like, safe meaning that they're not going to outshine me. Or I'm not, so nervous about my own self-worth that I just dim my light as soon as they come near me. So there's this entitlement too. And I mean, entitlement normally doesn't get taken that way. But I believe in this, it can very well be where, and you might also have a non-action element. And there might be some of you that are just like, you know what? I'm too lazy. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And everything's going to be easy for me. I want everything easy for me. So I'm just not going to do it because this is just too hard. There could actually be the regular idea of entitlement could also be going on. But then it's like, well, if you do that, and then you do the entitlement thing, and then you do this, guess what? You never actually stay here if you choose that path. You don't do that, and then you don't grow, and you never get to see that, guess what? You burn just as bright as this, if not brighter sometimes. Or you might not get to be that one that you're trying to be. I hope like I said, that's a message for like maybe 5 different groups at this point. But I hope that's resonating, that you're able to understand and get bits and pieces and see, okay, maybe I do need to make some changes in my beliefs or my limiting beliefs about myself and how I might dim my light, or how I might give up, or how I might think that this is the way everything happens and this is what I deserve. And this is, well, Or other people around me never get it any better, so why should I get better? Why should I be able to be successful in this venture when people in my neighborhood don't get to be successful? You know, that kind of mentality. Like, there's so many limiting beliefs. And if you have that belief, you stay here, and you don't thrive. And you don't get to, like I said, you don't get to learn what you're capable of. And even the love and it's for those of you that are mediums too, that you're capable of, the energy, the helping people. So, trying to think if these two at all. Okay, and then some of you, this again might not be for all of you, but some of you might be braiding this. Some of you, it's braided already and it's just the life stream and it's just the flow of things and it's like a dance. For others of you, you are braiding it yourself, but you're braiding it with the heart of, well, let me make the best of this. Let me make the best of this straw. Let me make it look pretty. But it's in a sense of like, almost non-action. Like, okay, well, let me do the very little I can so I can feel like I did something. You know? So you can be okay with yourself, yet not have to move into scarier territories. Not scary, but, you know, more character building territories. More territories that need you to confront and go through some inner healing first. So the braiding could actually be like that. It could be a dance, a celebration of, okay, what do we have? But it's also kind of a bare minimum thing. Because if you think about it, I asked what the straw is. The straw is this life, like literally like Akashic life force, where all of humanity is getting pushed through and moving through and getting to go over blocks. By blocks, I mean, remember, the rocks. Things that normally it can't go above. Normally it wouldn't be able to float over it, but because it's got water now, it's able to just go through. Yet you're sitting there braiding it. And it's like, well, if you're braiding it, like, it's like taking the most beautiful thing ever created. Like literally, say you were able to touch or encompass and hold in your hand the most beautiful thing in the universe, like literally, logically, the most beautiful thing. So it's not a matter of opinion. It's literally anybody that would see it would say, like, basically pass out because of how amazing and glorious this whatever energetic thing is. And you were like, oh, I'm going to put a bow on it. Bows are really pretty. You know, you're taking your human mentality of, okay, let me make a braid, and applying that to a spiritual principle. So you're taking this mentality and allowing it, or thinking you have the power to limit, or even that it would help do any good, to limit this amazingness that you actually can flow in. The Akashic, the flowing, the life force. Does that make sense? That's how it all works together. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards. Honestly, I don't really feel like I need to. I feel like that was like a good message enough. By good, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying that was pretty clear. Like, I mean, maybe some of you might need more. Maybe some of you that didn't resonate and there's like a final piece. I don't know. I think I'm just going to pull 3 cards from this. 3 cards. See what it says. My thing is it's a good message if it inspires you to grow, inspires you to get out of your ruts, and I'm not saying just you, Sagittarius, anybody, me, anybody. And if it shows me how, or shows you how, I guess, shows whoever it's for how. Messages to clarify or add anything Sagittarius needs to know or hear about this message for March. Spirit, God, universe, anything you have for Sagittarius to clarify. Message. I just realized I didn't cut earlier the deck, but a lot of times when I overhand shuffle, I kind of see it even less point anyways. Let's go ahead and cut it. Okay. I don't do reverse, so I'm like, oh, is this going to be all reverse? Because I didn't realize. So Queen of Cups is, let me put this in. There we go. Is influence in an emotional way. Emotional and intuitive. But it's influencing your environment, influencing the people. And sometimes that can be almost like a, not mediumship exactly, but that kind of card where you are guiding and you are helping influence and helping change the environment. Not environment, it's not only environment, it's people, it's connecting, but it's influencing. And I always see it as like almost like an energetic, not covering, but tinting, or I don't know how to describe that. So Five of Cups is, you know, basically being focusing on the ones that are down, focusing on some loss. There might have been some loss, but focusing on the loss when there's still some good, or there's still some things that can happen good. It's almost kind of like what I said about the card where she's like, she's in the prison, jail, whatever. And it's like, she's not even looking outside. She's focusing on the darkness instead of seeing that where can she go from here? And oh my gosh, that's a really nice lit up cell. I don't know, but you know what I mean? It's this idea of when you do that, then more and more can pile up standing, and you're still looking at this. So like, it's almost like when good comes, you quit seeing it. And so it's almost like all you think is bad is there. And this is relational, and this is relational. So like I said, this could be very much a relational thing. This could also be, like I said, a mediumship thing where you're connecting to people, but this is what happens in you when you confront or you run into the fire. Not into the fire like you're running into the fire, but you face the fiery. And Page of Wands is a messenger or potential for creativity, for action, for passion. Not like the emotional kind of passion, but passion like action. So it's exactly like this is keeping you from doing this. This is the potential you have to act and to make those things, that dancing that you had earlier in the other cards, a reality. Yet when you come here, it's not the same. It's not the same person, because it's still you. I mean, it could be also. It could be if for those of you that have the wands person and the fire person is somebody else, and you dim your light. This is why you dim your light, because you stay in that mentality of, okay, well, this is all I get, and look at this. This is all horrible, and then you just let them shine, and you go dimmer when you do that. Now, for those of you that this is where you're trying to get, the reason why you haven't gotten there is because you've gone to here. And you've allowed yourself, you've literally talked yourself down. Like, I kind of see that. I kind of see it like, I'm not really big, even no matter what my beliefs have been in life, and anytime, I'm not really big on negative self-talk. Like, I've kind of always been against negative self-talk, but I really feel like sometimes some of you might literally give yourselves pep talks, not pep talks, talks and berate yourself and talk yourself down, or talk yourself into not doing things right when you're right at the precipice of almost shining your brightest. And again, this could be two different people. One could be you, this could be you, and this could be the other person. Because a lot of times when we're around someone close to us, we pick up on that energy. So I could be reading the energy of someone that you're close to, and they could be dealing with you, and vice versa. So I hope that helped, and you got exactly what you needed to hear to move forward and to get yourselves out of whatever situation, rut, anything you've been facing, or in general, just to be able to shine your brightest and be your best self for you. And yeah, sorry, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, comments are super important, because a lot of times YouTube actually gives more importance to the comments even. So please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you liked, what resonated, which group you were in, because like I said, there was like 6 different groups. And I will see you next time.